Hey y'all, I think we live. I don't know. YouTube be hating. Okay, wait a minute. I see a zero and an eyeball, but I see some of y'all in the chat. I think we live. Hey everybody. Uh oh, we got a notification in the house. You know, they be hating on these notifications, y'all. They be playing with me. You know, it's like they'll let you get monetized again if they get in trouble because your attorney wrote them a letter. But you know what they do? They play these games. They play this game called "Well, since you monetize, we just gonna suppress your notifications." Why somebody said they just got a notification an hour ago for the live we did? When did we do the live with Q? This weekend, from Saturday or Sunday, y'all. How YouTube sending out notifications these days later? They be hating. Okay. Well, we're not blue today. I think I fixed the lighting. We'll see. I did it. I think I did it. I figured it out. I ain't need no help. I got this. I used to have a camera person, a media person, they seem to think when they try and play you and steal shit and act funny and they walk off, like you go, like you not gonna still be Mechee and do what you gotta do. I fixed it, nigga. Don't nobody need you. All right, y'all give me a second. Do me a favor. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not. Hit that notification bell. I gotta go get my folks on MX Network. We gotta get them going. We can't say we gotta be quiet till they come on now. Okay, I said enough. Oh, this is new. We got some newness on here. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me see. I think my folks is on here. Why you can't watch on MX Network? Somebody said they can't watch on MX Network tonight. Well, you can watch over here on YouTube. Now, I'm not going to I will say this. I'm not going to be on here for the full live. I'm gonna play some interviews and stuff and have some stuff we got to talk about. I don't know if YouTube is going to necessarily appreciate this conversation. And so we are not going to have the whole conversation over here. So y'all do me a favor, go ahead and come on over to MX Network, get your subscription. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you can go in the description of this video and you can get the free subscription. You ain't got to pay and you don't got to watch no commercials. Although I did change it, y'all have to tell me. I put it on a different setting to see if they wouldn't put as many. I put it on the lower one that says don't put that many commercials. So y'all gotta tell me if they throwing a lot of commercials at y'all or not. But if you don't want to watch no commercials at all, you could come over to MX Network. You ain't gotta watch commercials over there. We don't watch commercials on MX Network, y'all. So y'all can always come over there, right? But we are going to finish this conversation, you guys, over on MX Network. So we'll start over here, but we're not going to stay over here. We are going to have a conversation tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have heard, but we ain't talked about these immigrants in a long time. We got to talk about the immigrants, okay? We're going to take a moment to have this conversation tonight, and then we're going to get back to talking about what's going on right now. Now, I know this conversation is kind of old. Shout out to everybody on MX Network. Yeah, you can rewind the video over there on the site, y'all. But shout out to everybody on MX Network. Now I know this conversation might seem kind of old to y'all, but y'all got to stop, y'all got to stop letting the media and everything condition you to where it's like, oh, well, I just want to talk about what everybody else talking about right now. Probably about a month ago, I guess, people started having this conversation about TD Jakes. But we're going to have this conversation, period, right? We're going to bring up TD Jakes. We are going to play some clips, but we're going to talk about the church. This is what I call an evergreen topic, meaning no matter when we have this conversation, it is relevant. People want to run and have this conversation as soon as TD Jakes, want to fall out like he about to have a heart attack because he's stressed and because of all of the sinning he been doing with his perverted self, okay? And so now he's stressing because everybody's calling him out, okay? So we're going to listen, not necessarily here, but we're going to listen to some clips. of what was being said by some of his victims. We're going to have this conversation in a much bigger picture than it just being about TD Jakes, okay? Because there are a lot of issues within the church, you guys, that we all know, and we overlook it and we overlook it. Now, for anybody who want to come on here and throughout this conversation, you want to be like, oh my God, I'm in the church. You're disrespecting the church and the Christians. Let me just tell you a second. Just hold the fuck up in Jesus' name, okay? I was a Christian for a very long time. Not only was a Christian, I was a pastor, okay? So I promoted Jesus. I did a preaching and a teaching and a Bible study. I didn't preach like that. Even when I was in church, though, I hate when the pastor, everything they say, they got to be like, and the Lord said, I used to be like, if he don't shut the fuck up. I hate when y'all do that. So anyway, I wasn't one of them preachers, okay? But I was a pastor for many years, me and my ex-husband. And so at the end of the day, I think I know what I'm talking about. And there is so much that we overlook in the church. But I think that it is also in the fabric of our community, right? Other people do stuff, do not come on here tonight and be like, oh, what about the Catholic Church? We know that them folks is perverted. We know that when it comes to the other race of people, right, that they are the most raping, rummaging, pillaging, killing, and everything else that they do more than anybody else. But why you care about that? We not talking about them. We talking about us. See, because we like to act like these things do not happen in our community, and it does, right? Not just in the church, because it extends in the households. We just had Thanksgiving. Some of y'all was sitting around that same uncle that y'all know dang well. Same thing happened in the church. See, it's in the household. Y'all know that uncle shouldn't be at that table. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself, and Christmas is coming. And y'all should be ashamed of yourself to have family members sitting at a table and you ain't checked the person in y'all family who is constantly touching on and messing with the people in the family, not just the girls. It happens to boys too, okay? So let's have that conversation, because we always want to act like these things only happen to girls and not boys, and that's not true. And you got them at the table and you don't stop nobody, and a whole lot of y'all enabling chicks, right, and other family members allow this stuff to happen. Y'all do the same thing in the church all day long. But you have to be ashamed of yourself, because the church is supposed to be, y'all supposed to be in there. The man on the pulpit is supposed to be about God. He's supposed to be an example. Where he leading y'all when he out here doing what he doing? Like, I don't know about y'all, but when I was a pastor, I couldn't be on the pulpit preaching something to somebody that I could not live by myself. That would give me a guilty conscience. I don't know how to be a leader and a hypocrite in my leadership. I don't do that, right? I don't do that now as the leader that I am, as an activist. I don't work in hypocrisy. I don't even understand how you could go home at night, TD Jakes and everybody else that's out here doing this stuff, and you stand on the pulpit and you preach all of this mess and go home and know that that's what you're doing. Like, you just a lie. Your feet and your head should have been burning every time he got on that pulpit. So we're going to have this conversation, but don't come in here talking about, why you ain't talking about the white people, because we're not. We're talking about us. Okay. And don't come here talking about, well, what you know about the church. A lot. That's why I'm not in the church no more. That's why I'm the pastor no more. Take it a little bit deeper. I ain't no Christian no more. Okay. But before we do that, y'all do me a favor. Y'all thought the show was started. No, that was like a prelude to what was coming. we not there yet. Okay. Y'all do me a favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe if you have not, okay? I'm going to reiterate to y'all, we're going to go over to MX Network at some point. We are going to play a clip. I want y'all to watch something. We're going to play it over here. But then the rest of the stuff we talk about, we're going to actually talk about on MX Network and play the rest of those videos. So we'll be here for a little bit tonight, but not the whole conversation. So I'm going to tell you now, because I always do this. Y'all wait till I leave, and then y'all start hurrying up and coming over on MX Network. Just go ahead and get on now. It's free to sign up, right? And you can watch this live for 24 hours. So even if you come in here and you see this late and you're watching the replay of it, you can say, hey, it ain't 24 hours. You can come over there and watch the rest of it for free. Go ahead and get your subscription, okay? And ain't no commercials over there. So y'all got to tell me, y'all seen the commercial yet? How they doing y'all over here tonight? I changed the setting. I know y'all said they was giving y'all 50 commercials like a crackhead looking for some crack. And it was in overdrive. Y'all seeing commercials already? How y'all doing? Hey, Gail. How you been, Gail? I love you, Gail. Shout out to Gail, y'all. She is a very sweet person, and she the dopest moderator in the game. Shout out to you, Walter. Thank you for the donation. Walter always showing love over on MX Network. If y'all wonder who I'm talking to, Walter is over there at MX Network. We got a chat over there too. Y'all can come over there and talk too. Okay, y'all. So anyway, make sure y'all do that. But tomorrow, you guys, we are going. Somebody said yes, they seen a commercial already. Oh shoot, they hit you up. Somebody said 2 so far. Really? Now look, I'm about to you lying. Really? I don't realize, but what? 10 minutes. They better not show no 2 videos. I changed it. I told them to stop that. Well, look, the folks on MX Network said they ain't got no commercials over there. So now what? Nanny nanny boo boo. Y'all better come over there. Look, for real, Will, I believe you, Will. I don't know if they be lying in the chat, Will. I can count on you for the truth, Will. Did they show 2 commercials already? Somebody said no commercials so far. Y'all be lying to me. Why y'all playing with me? It's been a long day. I'm tired. I got a dentist appointment in the morning. I just taught boot camp class. I'm tired. Stop playing with me. Somebody said right in the middle of your sentence. So some of y'all ain't seen no commercials and some of y'all have. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but y'all tell me. Is it better than the last time? We're going to go for a minute, and then I'm going to ask y'all in the chat. Y'all got to tell me if it's better than the last video because y'all said they was on overdrive. I did change it, so we're going to see, okay? It was 2 videos. Will said it was 2 videos. Okay, I believe you, Will. Okay, that's a lot in 10 minutes. They be on that bullshit over here on YouTube. And look at the chat. Look at it's 532 people in here. This is ridiculous. They said, Mechee, I'm gonna monetize your channel, but then we gonna suppress all of your notifications. See how they do me? See? Y'all know dang well it'll already be 1,000 people in here by now. They be hating. Okay, commercial came on at the beginning of it. Okay, that's what I did. And at the end of it, and it's supposed to be like one every 20 minutes or something. That's what I'm saying. It ain't supposed to be 2 already. You guys, we're going to talk about some immigrants tomorrow. I don't know if you guys know this, but we'll get into this tomorrow and we will have that conversation over here. And we may stop it and going over to MX Network, right? That's the whole point of us being over there. We'll see how many commercials they keep putting on over here, whether we stay here the whole time or not. But tomorrow we're going to talk about the immigrants. Now, how many of y'all know the recent news about the immigrants? Now, remember, they talked about them in Aurora taking over the apartment complexes in Colorado. And you remember how everybody was trying to say that's not true and they was trying to hide all that mess? Well, we're going to get into the conversation about what they out there doing now. So a whole bunch of the Venezuelans done kicked in somebody's apartment door over there in those same apartments they claimed they were not taking over. You remember they said that, oh, this is a lie, whatever. So they said that it was a lie. Well, those same apartments now, the Venezuelan gangs have kicked in the door, did a home invasion, and they tortured 2 people that was in those apartments, okay? The gang members over there, okay? The word is that there is 40 to 50,000 Venezuelans, right? That are gang members that were dropped into Aurora, just the city of Colorado, of the state of Colorado over there in Aurora. They got 40 to 50,000. That's a lot in one damn place. And this is not all the immigrants. This is just the Venezuelan immigrants. But I thought we weren't supposed to be worried about that. I thought they wasn't taking over nobody's apartment complexes. I thought they wasn't over there torturing people, pulling out people's fingernails. Yeah, we're going to have that conversation tomorrow, right? They did a whole lot to some folks. So this is what, it's one thing. I get tired of people crying, telling me, well, these are just people that are seeking asylum. These are people that are just, trying to find a better way in life. I can't tell. See, because the rules of how they let folks come in seem to be so lax. Everybody and their mama is coming in, and then this is what happens, and you get these kind of people. Nobody said that every immigrant is like these Venezuelans, but the problem is, why is there no regulation, and why do they have people that are coming in here that can even get in this easy, that are of this caliber, that have come from Venezuela prisons? They're known gang members before they even cross the border. I want you to know your current administration allowed them to do that. So you can cry all you want about Donald Trump being racist, being a butthole, or whatever you want to say about him. But at the end of the day, you can't do that without telling me all the bullshit that the Democratic Party has done to everybody and overlooking this immigrant situation. Like, y'all think this okay? Could y'all imagine another 4 years of this? Could you? Not me. That's why whatever bullshit Trump bring, we just deal with it because I deal with anything else, but I don't want to deal with that. All right. So we're gonna have that conversation tomorrow. Y'all make sure y'all get your subscription. The one last thing I want to say before we have this conversation, y'all like this video, share this video because YouTube is hating. Maybe we get some folks in here if y'all get to like it because they over here hating. Shout out to you, Black Wolf. Thank you for that super chat. He said, okay, Mechee. I gotta read it because he put the super chat there. I read all the super chats. Okay, Mechee. You got your dip monetized. Yeah, I did. Looking fine in a motherfucker. Like always. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you for that compliment. Speak that truth like only you can do. Thank you for the compliment and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, right? So anyway, you guys, one more last thing I want to say. I do have a class on Saturday. Y'all be emailing me, asking me about it. Just go to the website. The link is in the bottom of this video. Okay. So we do have a class on Saturday. It is a one-day class. It'll be about 2.5 at the most 3 hours. We're going to go over ways that you can make money online that don't cost you anything to get started at all. Okay, it don't cost you nothing. I teach this in my boot camp. Is what I usually teach in the first class, and in all my boot camps, people are making money with this before the boot camp is even over. Now we just came out of boot camp. I don't know if anybody is in here because they ain't sent out them notifications, but if they is, they'll tell you in the chat. It's folks in our class already that have made money. So you don't have to spend money to get started making money online at all. There's a lot of ways that you can make money without doing that. So the new year is coming. You might as well add a new way to make money. You know, and since they say we all finna be broke because they said Trump finna rob everybody, you might want to learn another way to make some money. I mean, if that's what's going to happen, right? So anyway, that class is Saturday, y'all. There will be a replay, so you will get to watch it as many times as you need to after that. If you miss it or any of that, you can watch you'll be able to watch it over again. Okay. So the link to that is in there. And so if you're looking for it, just go to the link. It'll take you to the website. Okay. Also, too, you'll see on that page for the Saturday class that's coming up January 4th or 5th. Don't quote me on which days, one of them days. I will be starting our next 6-week boot camp, which goes over 10 plus ways to make money online. Okay. No matter what it is you want to do. Okay. And all the stuff that I teach, I do and I've done, and I show you my stuff. So you know I do it. I mean, if you follow me, you know that I do this stuff, right? You know I got a network. You know I got a website. You know I teach classes and courses. You know that I sell products. You know that because y'all been watching me do this. Y'all buy my stuff. And somebody was asking me about the survival website. I don't think that's in the link to this video, but it's MX Survival. Y'all can go over there and get y'all some survival goods because apparently the drone aliens is here and the world is coming to an end and you're gonna need it. The mothership is here about to take us all out. You gotta run for the woods and hide. So you might need to buy some supplies first. So you can go over to MX Survival and do that. MXSurvival.com. Shout out to Germany in the house. And wait a minute, I see some red up in this chat. Okay, I see orange. Oh, thank you for that. Andrea, thank you. Thank you for that super chat. Andrea done put $50 in there. I appreciate that. Thank you. So anyway, y'all, let's get into this conversation. How many of y'all heard about TD Jakes? That's been a minute. Shout out to you, Dadon. Thank you for the super sticker and the super chat. I appreciate it. Somebody said a commercial just came up. See, you two be lying because I went back there. I did. I pushed it and I said that it should be a commercial at the beginning and at the end, and that they should show a commercial every 20 minutes. And we ain't been 20 minutes yet. I changed it. I'm going to go back there and look at it again. But you guys come to MX Network. Ain't no commercials at all. They over here chillaxing. They sipping and they chilling. And they ain't seen not one commercial at all. The only commercial they heard was my commercial for my website and my classes. That's it. Shout out to everybody over here at MX Network. Y'all going over there because we about to leave in a little bit. We ain't going to be over here all the time, okay? Okay, y'all. But TD Jakes. Now, I'm going to start with TD Jakes because y'all love TD Jakes. And when I say y'all, you personally may not. But TD Jakes is somebody that is a very big figure. I will be honest with you. I have listened to TD Jakes back when I was in church. I would go and take me a bath. I would be in there for 2 hours soaking in some bubbles and crying. And TD Jakes would be changing my life, my whole life. Okay? He be giving some real good analogies. He understands psychology. You can listen to a TD Jakes sermon and don't even believe in Jesus or be a Christian, and you could get something out of it because oftentimes he talks to you about the psychological perspective of how you see and you should do things, right? So you see him and he's like the pastor of all pastors. He's a bishop, okay? And we have heard our rumors about him. And so many of you were not sure. We heard that he's a power bottom. I'm believing it now. I am believing he is a power bottom. If you don't know what a power bottom is, you might want to Google it. I had to Google it too when I heard that he's a power bottom from Jaguar, right? I believe her now, okay? I have heard that he has been named in some of the Diddy paperwork now. Not that he's been named as, I don't believe he's been named as a person who did something to somebody, but he's been named as a person who's been around, maybe considered a witness who has been in some of these parties. We don't know, and we'll find out, right? So if Diddy ever goes to trial or these things come out in the public, we'll get to see what that list of people will look like, okay? And of course, TD Jakes, I'm sure, will be on there. But we don't just have TD Jakes. How many of y'all remember Eddie Long? You can name all kind of pastors who have been in these predicaments. You have TD Jakes, who just called himself falling out. Now, he told everybody on the news. I found it amazing that the news was talking about, if you go and Google TD Jakes falling out, all the news channels, Fox, CNN, the local channel, everybody is reporting that this man fell out during a sermon. But they're also reporting that it wasn't a stroke, that he had a medical situation, and he's fine now. So it wasn't a stroke. Look, your brain just froze up, because when you start getting all these allegations, if y'all do not know, I'm going to play the man that is saying this stuff against him, but there's been a couple of people who have come out to say things against TDJ. Somebody said he was faking. Hell yeah, he was faking. He tried to get some sympathy. You know how when you're a kid and you about to get a beating because you know you're wrong, so you try over, cry, be sad, hoping the beating to be over faster. No, it's not that easy, Bishop Jakes, okay? It's not that easy. You're not getting out of this. So he has all these accusations coming out against him. And in these accusations, it's funny because he calls himself having a medical emergency on stage, you guys. That's what I'm going to call it. That's what he called it. He said it wasn't a struggle. It was a medical emergency. Okay. Whatever. I guess the devil grabbed your soul and you was frozen. Whatever was the opposite of the Holy Ghost. He was frozen in the no-nost, okay, of doing too much and the most. All right. So anyway, he had this situation, but it's amazing to me that it was like 48 hours after that happened. Here he is, and people are giving a statement from his church where he's saying, well, we have filed a lawsuit. Okay. For defamation of my name being tarnished. Brother, I don't know why you did that to make yourself look good, because it seems like to me that there is evidence. We are going to look at a video, if you guys have not seen it, of some text messages he actually sent another man, okay? So I don't know why you want to do that to yourself, because defamation means that it's not true. I can come and tell all your business, and it could destroy your character, your business, your image, your marriage. It can destroy everything for you. But you cannot sue me for that damage if everything that I have said is true. Now, he knows this stuff is true. So I don't know why he's even filing this claim. It's just going to make stuff look worse once it all comes out and everything hits the fan, okay? But let's for a moment get away from TD Jakes, because everybody is like, oh, well, TD Jakes did this and this is ridiculous. I'm going to go back to Eddie Long. I'm going to go back to your pastor. You can throw your pastor's name in the chat if you would like to. What's your perverted pastor's name? Because we're going to stop acting like this is just a TD Jakes or Eddie Long thing. We got all kind of pastors that over time, it seems like, funny thing is that we talk about regular people who get corrupted when they become, superstars like Diddy and all of these folks that will hang out with Diddy. But it seems like, to me, money don't really change you. Listen to me real good and hear me real good when I tell you this. Money don't change a person. You know what money do? Money and power do not change people. Money and power make you more of what you already are. It's kind of like they say, a drunk man speaks a sober man's mind. If you're a mean person when you get drunk, you just really mean to everybody. You don't suppress what you really are. If you're nice, you turn around and be nice to everybody. Somebody said Creflo Dollar. So put your provider pastor name in there. Pastor Ling Lang, Pastor Joseph. You know these niggas. Put that name in there and just shame them. Tell the truth, we're going to shame the devil in here tonight. Okay? Now, when you get money, money makes you more of what you already are. If you're arrogant, you're going to be even more arrogant because you have money. If you are a giving person, you're going to be more giving because you have money. If you are a stingy person, you're going to have more to be stingy with. Money don't change people. No, it doesn't. Money makes you more of what you already are. And we watch all these pastors that rise to the top, that become millionaires. And nobody says because you believe in the Lord that you should be poor. Because I believe if you are a child of God, which you are supposed to be, made in God's image, why I gotta be poor? If my creator is God, I should be able to have access to whatever the heck I want. I shouldn't be walking around here looking poor, busted, and disgusted. But these people take it to a whole nother level. What he need a jet for? I mean, if he that much of a man of God, y'all swear that if you just touch his garment, the brother gonna make you fall out. He's so anointed, he should just call down an angel, should come pick the nigga up on his wings and take his ass wherever he want to go. He take having money to a whole nother level. Creflo Dollar, all of these stupid pastors out here, they get all of this money and they'll take the last of your dollar, right? While they in a jet, but you can't even get a ride to work because your car done broke down. Like, I'm going to say this again. I say this all of the time. When the church need to pay their bills, they come ask you. When you need to pay your bills, they tell you to go ask the Lord. Now, y'all stop me when I'm wrong tonight. Understanding how it is that if God can make a way for me and my bills, then God should make a way for you. I shouldn't have to pay the goddamn bills in God's house. Jesus seemed like one of them 50-50 brothers. You know, they have somebody, what they call them? They call them what they call them Negroes ain't got nowhere to live and they come stay on your couch. Like, I don't understand how he the son of God and he got all of this. He can call out a host of angels and he can raise himself up from the dead, but he can't pay his bills. He should just paralyze the hand of the electric company. Whenever they go to turn off the light, he should never have to pay a bill. They just become paralyzed with the Holy Ghost and they can't do it. When they try to cut the water off, it should just stop them in their tracks. You know, like whoever they was in the church house singing and it shook the church and let them out. That's what should happen. Okay? That this is the Lord's house. The Lord can create miracles for you. He can open doors. He can give you a blessing to pay your light bill, but he can't do it for himself. Those blessings always come through the people. That's crazy to me. Maybe y'all shouldn't be in a church house with the doors locked to where people can't even come in the church throughout the week. You got to wait for the pastor on Sunday. Then it's all kind of pallbearers and security at his door. You can't even get to the damn pastor. And I ain't talking about TDJs. I'm talking about all y'all pastors with big ass heads. You be having the littlest church in the whole goddamn city, but you got an armor bearer at your door talking about he can't be bothered right now. Boy, shut up. You can't be bothered. This show to him and your garment, nigga, we need a healing. Ain't you the pastor? But all of a sudden, the pastor got on Stacey Adams and he driving a Cadillac. We can talk about the hood now, not TDJ. He got a nice car and you can't even afford to pay your bills. Most of y'all can't even go to your church and say to them, my light's about to be cut off, and have them pay your light bill for you. You can't go to your church to go and get your bills paid, but they come to you to get their bills paid. And then you got pastors like TDJs walking around on airplanes and stuff. And then he gets so much money. He gets so much stuff. And then he gets all this power. He thinks he's untouchable. And then the real him begins to come out. All of these pastors. How many of y'all want to testify tonight? Let's have a testimony in the comment section. Raise your hand in the chat If you go to a church where there are official ministers, deacons, and pastors, and they sleeping with somebody else's spouse, or they cheating on their spouse with a church member, raise your hand. I need a witness. Well, throw a well or something in the chat. How many of you go to a church or have been to a church where the treasurers that are supposed to be overseeing the money of God, they stealing that shit in the back? They talking about, oh, we're going to send a witness. It ain't one treasurer. It's going to be two treasurers. Why? You think the second treasurer going to check the first treasurer? Both them niggas just still together. Stop me when I'm lying. See, I was a pastor in the church. I know. They didn't like me in the church either. Because every church I went to, I refused to put on them stupid ass robes. They talk about the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And nigga, you the one that's the Pharisee and the Sadducee. You up here in this fancy robe, you fit the whole description of what a Pharisee and a Sadducee is. I wasn't putting that robe on. I'm not putting this stupid ass robe on. If I could go in the pulpit and preach, I would. Can I wear my t-shirt and my Nikes? That's what I would like to do. I go into the church. They want you to prophesy. Pastors who used to come up to me, if I said, well, I got a word from the Lord, they would say, well, what's your word? Tell me first. Well, it's from the Lord. Why I can't just come up and tell the whole church? Because they wanted to make sure that my word was not a bad word. Because I was known for prophesying your church ain't shit. Because you get folks in the church who know damn well the Spirit done showed them, God done showed them, they done seen it with their own eyes. Y'all make excuses for these pastors. Y'all don't say nothing about the demonry that they are committing in your churches with all kinds of stuff before we even get to the fact that they are grooming and sexually assaulting children. Before we ever even get to that conversation. And you know they wrong, but you won't ever stand up and check them. They didn't like to see me coming because just like fake ass activists that act like they're about the community, they should not link up with Mechee, because when I know that you're using, abusing, and scamming the people, I'm going to call your ass out. This has always been who I am, because I never put myself in a position of leadership and then be hypocritical. You better practice what you preach or shut the fuck up talking about you a leader. So they see me coming. They don't want to see me coming. Last church that I was in, and I never got to walk back in that church again because I loved all of the people in there. That was the crazy part about it. I loved them all. I didn't really have an issue with the people because I understand that people are imperfect. I was given a prophecy to give to the church, and that prophecy was, y'all, I'll never forget it. These were the exact words. The church is corrupt from the front to the back. And God is sending a consuming fire. And if you are his, you will be purified by this fire. If you are not his and you are not doing right, you will be destroyed by this fire. And they told me, girl, how can you stand up and say that? You wrong. Some women who claim they love me, I had cried with them at 2 a.m. I got my pastor ass up out of my bed and would be at their house going through all kind of issues with them. But as soon as I gave that, they was like, oh no, that wasn't for us. I just said what thus said the Lord. This is what God told me to say. I don't know nothing about what they talking about. I'm just telling you what I heard the Spirit of the Lord say. Well, guess what, y'all? They say what? They say that you test a prophet by what they say, if it comes true or not. Yes. Well, about a month and a half later in that church, we found out, well, the community found out that this big ass church had a charter school in it. They were receiving $250,000 every single quarter. And the money just seemed to be going away. Well, the pastor was taking so much money, but the treasurers were stealing all the money. And that was just half of it. There was a minister in the church who was having an affair with another member's wife. They actually got into a fight in the middle of service and started beating each other up. Somebody punched somebody. They fell down the stairs. The police came to church. Now, I didn't see this. Okay, I didn't get to see it. I just heard about it. So, show up at the church, stop the whole service. I thought Jesus was running this. I thought the Lord was running this. I thought the Holy Ghost was the only one arresting people in here today. Well, the church, the police said, don't nobody move. Sit down, shut up, take off your hat, man, be quiet. They ain't let nobody do nothing. They interrupted the service. They arrested the dude that punched the other dude. Now this woman's husband, and you cheating. Oh my God. So they beat each other up. The pastor was removed from his space. They were stealing all of this money, and they were not doing the things they needed to do for the church. So much corruption came out. And it was amazing because one thing I will always remember, and this must be human nature, because whether it's been in the activist realm or it's been in the church realm, I often find that whenever I say things about somebody that people don't like, whether it was when I was a pastor or whether it was now that I'm an activist, whenever I'm proven to be right, nobody fucking comes back and ever says, Mechee, you were right. We're sorry. Never, ever, ever. Now, all that shit went down in the church, and now one person came and said, Mechee, you was right. I'm sorry I was mean to you. I'm sorry we shunned you and we acted like that. The prophecy you gave was right, and it should have been a sign that you should have got closer to me, because that means the Lord was really on my side. That means that I really did hear what God had thus to say to the church. That's what that really meant. But nobody could come back. Even as a Christian, y'all supposed to be so righteous. You're supposed to be better than everybody else. Remember? Because you live in righteousness. You strive to be better every day. So they couldn't even come back and admit to me that they were wrong and I was right. Just like in the activist community. When I came and told y'all I'm not fucking with Grandmaster Jay, and y'all still be asking me in my chat about Grandmaster Jay. Don't ask me no more. Where he at? Is he in jail? When he getting out? What's going on with him? I don't know. I told y'all he wasn't really for the people, and something wrong with that man, and he was doing a lot of folks wrong behind the scenes. Do you know the day that I said that, about 2,000 people unsubscribed from my channel? They told me I was divisive. They said you tore up all the NFAC. Now, I didn't know that I was that powerful of a bitch. I did not know that my words were so powerful that just by saying, I don't mess with Grandmaster Jay no more, that I tore up NFAC. This is news to me, but this is what they told me. And then a couple weeks later, guess what happened? Every one of his right-hand men, including our brother Ozone, who is in jail now, at first they were cussing me out on videos. They all came out and eventually told y'all everything that I had already said. They told y'all he was full of shit. They told y'all he was talking about running off with all the funds and the donations. They told y'all that he was inside calling people ops and trying to tear down his own organization and pointing the fingers at other people. And after they did that, none of you 2,000, y'all might still come and watch. Y'all didn't come back and apologize to me. Y'all didn't come and resubscribe again. Y'all couldn't even admit that I was right and y'all was wrong. I just be trying to warn y'all some shit. I've had this scenario all my life. So it's always amazing to me, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Hebrew, because a lot of them was the Hebrew Israelites. Seems like all of y'all that look to the Lord in any fashion, y'all all act like y'all so righteous. But y'all don't even know how to admit when y'all be wrong. Like something wrong with that. Y'all ought to go back to your good book, your Quran, whatever it is that you read. Go read it again, because y'all all full of shit. Just want to say that, right? I just want to say that. Somebody said, so you're a prophet. I wouldn't call it necessarily a prophet, but Godspeed, that is the word they use in the church. But yes, I've had dreams about things that happen to people when they're not with me. I call them and tell them, and then it happens. Some of them may be in the chat for people that do know me. So yes, I have a blessed ability to foresee what is coming in my life and other people's lives as well. So yeah, you can call it whatever you want to call it, okay? Now, I don't talk very much about my spirituality, but I'm one powerful motherfucker in the spirit. I will tell you that, okay? I don't run from the dark, and I don't just mess with the light. I don't do love and light. I do love, light, darkness, and hate. I do it all. When it comes to the spiritual realm, I'm not scared of no dark entities, and I'm not just walking with the light entities. At the end of the day, if you think that hate is a dark or a devil devilish thing, then you could say that I run with them too. Because if I need some dark shit to come and get your ass, I'm going to send them after you. Now, if I love you and I want to bless you, then I might send the light workers after you. But at the end of the day, I'm like a monk. I am a hermit. I sit at home and I probably talk to the spiritual realm more than I ever talk to real people. And if you know me in real life, anybody that knows me will tell you that is true about Mechee. Okay? I embrace it all. I talk to it all. I deal with it all. I use it all. Okay? I believe in spirituality now. I walk around as the God being that I am instead of walking around waiting for a third party or somebody outside of me to give me permission to be the child of the creator that I am. I create the life that I want. And at the end of the day, I do right by people. And if you tread on me, there is a price that you will pay because my ancestors will whoop your ass. So that's what I mean. I'm not scared of the darkness. I'm really not. Some of y'all is. And I think that's the problem in the church is y'all act like there's not a balance. We're human beings. For everything that you think is a sin in the church, it's a sin because you say it's a sin. I shouldn't drink. I can drink if I want to. I'm grown. Okay. I shouldn't cuss. Who told you cussing was a goddamn sin? They're words. I cuss all the time, and my life is blessed, more blessed than you motherfuckers who keep your cuss words in and don't know how to let them out. You should have let them out. Let them out. We should have a cussing session. Just say a bunch of cuss words right now. Get them out. Because you know you want to say it. Just say the shit. Just say it. Okay? So, yes, I wouldn't say necessarily a prophet. That's what the church call it. But if that's what you want to call it, yes. But I can read your energy. I can see things that's going to happen to you. I can stand next to a motherfucker and tell you something ain't right with them. And I just met them. You don't have to say anything. And I can hear you loud and motherfucking clear. And that goes for all people that are around me, right? I can see and I can hear when you are saying nothing. So yes, that is a gift I've had since I was a child. I dream all the time. Most of the time it comes to me in dreams. When I'm awake, that's a different story. That happens sometimes, but don't let me go to sleep and have a dream about your ass. It's over. Everything I saw is really finna happen to you, okay? So you call it what you want. Call it what you want. But again, I don't talk about my spirituality much. I really don't. That's just a side of me that I keep to myself. If you're close to me and you know me, then you know that. But again, let's go back to this church. I think the Christian church is one of the most hypocritical places that a person could ever find themselves. Nobody ever seems to walk in the light that they say that they're about. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the church is no more than a place where people run to have a social group, to talk to each other, to be each other's friends. Y'all not really there to get your lives together. You're there so that you can use the excuse that Jesus died on the cross for all my sins. So no matter what I do, I'm still good with God. Now, T.D. Jakes did this, did he not? Did he not? Do y'all remember when his name was being brought up in the Diddy situation? Do y'all remember that? What was it? Because I was out in Alabama with Steve Perkins and them. So what was this, like November, December of last year? Do y'all remember when his name was being brought up and he said he was not going to address any of the situations that had to do with the Diddy thing? I'm not going to address it. Y'all remember that when he did his sermon? And what did he say? He said, even if it was true, what did he say? He said, I'll just ask for forgiveness and be forgiven. So even if I did molest some kids, even if I did do some sexually deviant stuff, I'm just going to, somebody said it was a commercial. Okay, how many commercials is that since the show started? Somebody that was here from the beginning, how many commercials y'all seen? You should only see like maybe 2 or 3 at the most. It should only be in 2. But that's what T.D. Jakes said, did he not? So see, that's the part about the Christians. Y'all so fake, and this is why I can't be a Christian anymore, because I am that I am, baby. Y'all preach these scriptures all the time, but I am that I am. Meaning whatever I am, that's what I'm going to be. I'm not making no excuses. I'm not hiding it. Even the messed up stuff in my life, I'm going to accept it. I am going to deal with it, and I'm going to acknowledge it. That's the only way you deal with your mess. Okay, y'all, I wonder why everybody's seeing different amounts of like videos. Somebody said 3, somebody said 4, somebody said 5, and somebody said 6. Why I'm seeing different numbers, and somebody else said 2 commercials. Now, see, that's what I said it to. Y'all should have seen 2 commercials by now. One at the beginning and 120 minutes in. I don't know why y'all seeing different commercials. Maybe YouTube, the ones for those y'all that seen 6 commercials, YouTube don't like y'all. They feel like y'all owe them something. So that's why they make you watch all these commercials. Right. MX Network said they see zero commercials. Y'all can come over to MX Network. You ain't got to watch no more commercials on these lives. Okay, somebody else said 2. That's what I said it to. So I don't know why people are seeing more than that. I said it to, you should have seen 2 by now. And that's what I said it to. So I don't know why the other people are seeing more. Somebody said I'm not seeing no commercials. Michelle, that's because you like me. My name is Michelle too. Whoop, whoop. That's probably because you got premium. I don't watch commercials, so I forget about commercials on YouTube because I pay for the premium. I'm not watching them commercials. I just pay to not see them. But again, you guys, let's be honest. Church folks go to church so y'all can hide your bullshit and not have to take accountability because you're constantly screaming, the Lord will forgive me. The Lord will pay for my sins. The Lord will fight my battle. No, why don't you get up and fight your own battle? Because some of the battles you have, you've created for yourself. Why don't you stop walking in sin and being the sinful person that you are? Why don't you do that instead of talking about Jesus gonna fix it for you? I just feel like y'all the biggest hypocrites in the world if you are a Christian. Biggest hypocrite. That's all you do. And then you have your pastors on the pulpit who are grooming children every day. Now, can we talk about this? The grooming on the pulpit comes from the community. Can we talk about the difference in that? How many of y'all have had a pastor in your church that has done some shit that goes completely against the word? They're committing adultery. They have done some real devious. We've had pastors. I used to watch the what was the church channel, Trinity channel, or whatever. They had all kind of big pastors on there. There were pastors. I remember it was one pastor. I don't know his name, but he got caught up in a scandal. He was in hotels using drugs and sleeping with prostitutes, and he was a married man and a pastor. And he got before the church and he said, I'm blemished. I'm not worthy. But none of us are worthy. For God is the one that is worthy and makes us worthy. So he said he was going to sit himself down for a moment. But before he got caught, you knew you was doing wrong. Why it took for you to get caught to sit yourself down? Why don't the pastors in these situations, how come we don't never see them? First and foremost, how come they don't ever say, well, maybe I shouldn't be pastoring right now? Why don't they ever come to the pulpit and say, look, I'm going through some stuff right now. I don't want to get into any details, but I think I should sit down because in order to be your leader, I have to get myself in order in certain ways. So I'm going to let an associate pastor, an associate minister take the place. I need y'all to pray for me. And I'm just going to take a moment to get myself together. Like they could do that. They don't mean that because they only do that when they get caught. If you really had any conviction about what you were doing, sir, that you up here preaching about the Lord, but you're committing adultery. You up here preaching about the Lord and reading that Bible, but you over here doing drugs and you're people's pastor. Now that you've been caught, now you want them to work with you because that's your job. These pastors that make all of this money, if they walk away from the church, they walk away from their check. They can't do that. So what they're asking you is to not fire them. They don't want you to fire them. They want to be able to keep being the pastor and getting money. So I'm going to sit myself down. Y'all going to pray for me. And then I'm going to come back to the pulpit in a little bit. I don't know about y'all. Y'all can't sit here live. You a Christian, you in the chat. You have watched this happen in the church. And then y'all happily let these pastors come back. I don't give a dang if you take the rest of your life or go take a dirt nap and try and come back in the next life. That's the only time I'm giving you a reset and you a pastor. And that's what you do. Check this out. Let's equate it to activism. Y'all finna give Jay Morrison another chance. He sat himself down. He sat himself down, y'all. He done thought about what he did. He's sorry he took all of y'all money and he not gonna do it again. He gonna be right this time. So when Jay Morrison decides to ask for another fund so he can help build on some real estate and help y'all make money, are you going to give him another chance? Let's equate it to the same thing. No. So only because Jesus is in the mix and you allow yourself to commit sin because you've been told that in the name of Jesus you ain't perfect and you could commit all of this different stuff and the Lord gonna make a way and God gonna forgive me and it's gonna be all right and you imperfect. So who are you to not forgive me too? This is what you're gonna tell yourself? That's why y'all do it in the church, because the example I just gave you of Jay Morrison, none of y'all finna forgive Jay Morrison. You're never gonna let him get up and do that again. He gonna have to take a dirt nap and come back in his next life. And then you might give him a new chance because he in a new body, he a new being, he a new person, it's a new life, he can start all over again. So why don't y'all have the same approach with pastors? You couldn't do what Eddie Long did. You couldn't do what T.D. Jakes is doing. You couldn't do what that other pastor was doing. You couldn't be out here doing all of this sexually deviant stuff, stealing from the church, being so hypocritical, and then turn around and tell me, I'm going to take some time with the Lord, and now you're ready to come back. You have tarnished your name as a pastor. You could never lead me anywhere again because I watched you lie to us, manipulate us, hide your secrets in the dark, and the only time you came forward to be honest was when your ass got caught. But you know why you let your pastors come back onto the pulpit? You know why you acknowledge them and let them come back? You want to tell me, you want me to tell you some real deep psychological reasons why the people in the pews, you know why y'all do that? Because you don't want to face your own demons. You want to continue to know that you're imperfect and you give him another chance because in the midst of your bullshit, you want somebody to give you another chance. That's why. But if you really clean yourself up and you just walk right, you don't need church for that. You don't need no religion for that. To walk as a decent person, have some morale, have some integrity, be right. Because cussing and drinking and having sex without being married ain't got nothing to do with being a decent person. Now, adultery is you're a shitty person if you're out here married to somebody, but you're sleeping around on that person. That makes you a shitty person. It does. It makes you a really bad spouse. But all that other stuff y'all be talking about, that don't make no person a bad person. Some people like to cuss, but might be the best person in the world and have some integrity and treat people right. So what? And the reason that you let your pastors get back up there after the stuff that they've done and give them a pass is because you are really trying to convince yourself that walking in the church, you got to give him a pass because you want to pass for the stuff that you do. Why don't you just go within and change your bullshit? Be a better person. Have some integrity. Stop doing wrong. Don't steal from people. Don't mistreat people. Don't assault people in sexual ways. Don't harm children. It's not that hard. Do right. But you ain't right. That's why you excuse the pastor not being right. Because I wouldn't be nowhere under no leader as a pastor, an activist, or anything. And you ain't walking what you teaching me. I cannot come into my boot camp classes and teach people online how to make money if I don't know what I'm teaching them. It will make me a complete hypocrite. How you gonna show me how to make money when you can't make money this way? I don't care what you're doing. You can never lead people when you ain't walking in the thing that you're teaching. That is just a standard we should all live by. But the reason, let's go deeper into the homes. Where do you think all these Black pastors came from? Where do you think all the enablers that sit in the pews came from? Well, they came from the Black community. It came from your church and your house that has a problem. Let me give you a statistic. Every Black girl, out of all Black girls, 1 in 4, that's a lot, 1 in 4 will be sexually assaulted more than twice before they are 18 years old. Do you know who they're going to be assaulted by? This is why we're not talking about the Catholic Church or anybody else. We're talking about our community. Fix our problems. Stop trying to talk about other communities you're not in and that it doesn't have nothing to do with you. Let's focus on our issue. That's going to be by the hands of other Black people. Black men and Black women. We just going to stop acting like Black men. We got nasty aunties too, just like you got nasty uncles. Now, I can't give you the statistics on Black boys because they are less likely to come forward and tell. But boys are being treated the same way in our households and in our communities by nasty aunties and perverted uncles as well. And apparently perverted pastors. Because the one thing I've noticed is that a lot of these pastors, like A. Long and T.D. Jakes and all the other ones, most of them seem to have a thing for boys. My little girls, little boys. And this is why sometimes y'all overlook it, because you don't have any sympathy for men. Let me tell you something that y'all might not want to hear, you might not believe, or you might not understand. When we talk about women being sexual objects, that is true. Women are, especially Black women, they are seen as nothing but sexual objects. But how many of you have stopped to realize that men are seen as sexual objects just the same? And if you don't believe me, let me explain it to you. Okay? I'm explaining to you like this. A man is not allowed to turn down sex, or you'll say something's wrong with him. Let a man be groped by a woman at a nightclub and she's drunk and she starts feeling on his private parts. He's been assaulted, but you don't expect that man to react like he's been assaulted. You expect that even though he's been violated, just because he's a man don't mean he want a strange woman touching all over him. Y'all gonna tell him he a punk if he go and report that. Now put a woman in that situation. A woman's at the club, she dancing, a drunk man start feeling all on her, grabbing her between her legs and rubbing on her chest. That is going to be seen as a completely different situation. You do know that a man and a woman both have the right to their privacy, and they don't know these people, and men don't want to be touched just like that. But society says, yes, you do. Most young boys that have been assaulted by older women, their babysitters, their nasty mama's 30-year-old friend, nobody tells them that they have been assaulted. They give them a pat on the back and say, boy, your first piece of poontang was by a grown woman. You should be proud of yourself. Give me that, my nigga. What makes you think that that's not traumatizing for a boy to be 13 years old and being touched up by his 30-year-old mama friend or by his 22-year-old babysitter that's over there? That's traumatizing for them too. But they're not going to never speak on that. Y'all only want to speak on when a man forces a young boy to do something because you say that's against his will. That's gross. Who said he wanted to be gay? Who said that he wanted to be touched by anybody? But y'all don't allow boys or men to rebuke. Let's use them church words. Y'all don't allow them to rebuke sexual contact against them from men or from women. Only when it's men, it's one way. When it's women, you try and make it seem like it's okay. It's not. Chris said, you want to talk about the parents? Talk about the pastor, talk about the parents. That's where we're going, though. Who do you think are in the pews? In the pews are all of the parents, all of the enablers in the community who allow this stuff to go on in the community, in the home. You live in the hood. Whoever lives in the hood that's on this live right now, tell me in your hood right now. You have known several, but there is a couple in your hood. There is like a 28-year-old man that's messing with a 15-year-old girl. Y'all think they really in a relationship. Nobody is checking the man, saying that's a little girl compared to you. And y'all talking about how she fast, but nobody's calling him a pervert. Stop me when I'm wrong. Now, Chris said it is the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault sometimes, but what you're not going to do, Chris, is come in here and remove the responsibility from the person who is out here. There's a such thing as predators, and I'm going to play a video for you. They groom people. There are often times when you think that your children are okay with the associate pastor, the youth pastor. You think they're okay with this person, and you don't know that something is going on. Okay? But what we're not going to do is remove the responsibility from the actual person who's doing the act. Okay? That's what we're not going to do. Sometimes the parents do not know. Sometimes they have been just as fooled as anybody else. So let's be clear about that. But when you want to talk about the parents, let's talk about the parents. Let's talk about the whole family. We just got past Thanksgiving. How many of you was at a dinner table with a perverted family member who you know has been allowed to molest and mess with and touch on all kind of family members from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And they all come to dinner and grandma know her son ain't shit. Y'all all know that he not. But he's still there at the dinner table, and the people who've been victimized still come. See, I don't understand that, because I don't care about no blood. I come from a family of 9 children. I have 8 siblings. I don't care. I don't sit around people who mistreat me. I love my family, but there are cousins, aunties, uncles. I live like they don't exist. My family members are actually people that I've chosen. You know, that cousin, that sister that ain't really your blood. I choose who I want to make my family. I don't feel that I have to be stuck with a person just because I was born into that. I didn't have a choice in that. But I'm grown. I definitely have a choice in that. I don't have to be around you. I don't care what your title is in my family. I don't care what kind of blood we share running through our veins. You're gonna treat me right or get out of my face. Christmas coming and y'all about to do the same thing. So understand, in our community, there are so many people who know that these things are going on. They don't say nothing about it. They make excuses about it. They make the girl the fast one. The boys don't never say nothing because they don't think that it's a problem. They are bugging inside, but at the end of the day, they feel like they shouldn't say anything because they'll be told, what is you bugging about? So what, you 14 and you got a piece of grown coochie? So what? This is what so the boys don't even say nothing. So we don't have the numbers of how much they'll be touched on. Okay, we don't have that. I'm gonna play a video for you guys. And this is a video of a prophet, I believe his name is. Again, I'm not in the church. His name is Manasseh or something, and he's a prophet. But he's going to talk on this video about grooming in the church and how these pastors do this to boys, and how he felt, this was his situation. We will later, because we're going to go over to MX Network in a minute, and we are going to look at some more clips and listen to the story of actually some people who said that TD Jakes touched him and tell their story. But I'm going to play this because he's going to talk about grooming and how they do this, because this goes on a lot. And sometimes this has nothing to do with the parents, right? I say it's a whole lot going on in these situations that we need to unpack. Again, it's ignored in the household. And this is why y'all ignore it in the church. That's why I say when you go to church, you're not there to clean up your life. You're just there to carry on the bullshit you've always been carrying on in your life. And you just want to be able to use the name and the blood of Jesus to cover up your sins. You don't really want to change. This is why I don't do church. That's why I don't do Christianity. Me and God, we good together. Me and my ancestors work it on out. I don't need nobody. You need somebody to give you permission to talk to your mama? You need somebody to give you permission to talk to your daddy? I wish a motherfucker would stand at my mama front door and tell me, for you go in here, thou can only get to thy mother through me. I came out her womb. I'm her creation. If you don't move the hell out of my way, I don't go through nothing to get to God. Me and God good. I don't do church because y'all a bunch of hypocrites, okay? So let's hear somebody that's still in the church talk about this grooming, okay? Let's watch this.
Hey fam, those that have been watching me, I've been saying that in 2024, it's going to be the year of exposure. And God is exposing certain people that normally was able to use their power, their influence, and their money to silence people. Those days are over. And before I hear people saying that, oh, this is sowing tear in the body of Christ, the Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth. So before you say, touch not my anointing, do my prophets no harm, that's a nescient statement, because that scripture is referring to Israel. You're taking the scripture out of context. And if the Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth, then speaking truth is not sowing tears. It's bringing reformation and healing. In my 20s, I got to be around some of the biggest men and women of God. And I got to witness things because I got to see them without their armor. One of the things that really happens, and seldom talk about, is that there's something called grooming. And it happens in the Pentecostal church. It happens in many churches, but I'm referring to the Black church specifically. And what that means is that there'll be a bishop, a pastor, apostle, someone who has big conferences. Everybody knows, oh my God, they're the holy man of God. And they will pick their victims and they groom them. And it first goes through stage one where they ask questions. What are you into? What do you like? You need to tell daddy everything. And so they're using verbosity and they're using this type of garrulous narrative to try to make you feel comfort, to build comfort with their victim. And then from there, it goes into stage two. And stage two is where it begins to become sexual. And it first starts by either making facetious jokes, making little statements, innuendos, and then it goes into the questions of what turns you on? What do you like sexually? You need to tell me this because I need to know, because I need to be able to pray for you. So it's almost like a psychological power game that they're playing with you. And in your head, if you say something wrong, they project it on you. They body shame you. Oh, you're too sexual. Oh, look at your body. Oh, you're the one that's making me do this. Oh, you. And so you have that in the back of your head. And then you also have in their head of their dumb, misinformed followers who are pushing this predatory narrative because they're so in awe with either trying to be like them, either worshiping them, or not worshiping God, or worshiping their denomination or where they come from. And so they're not even there seeing with the eyes of truth, but they're there seeing out of carnality. And so they're sitting up there and they're protecting them. And the leader, the bishop, the pastor, they know this. And so they know and they feel invisible. Oh, I can get away with this. I just have to make a statement to my church. I just have to tell them, and they're never going to question. Why is it so many people? Why is it always coming up? Why is everybody lying? So everybody's lying. Where there's a mouse, there's mice. And then it goes into the third stage. And the third stage is where they try to become intimate with you. And if you do not allow this, they drop you. They treat you like you're nothing. And they abandon that young male or that young woman. But from my experience, I can only speak from a young male point of view. They abandon that young male and they treat them like they're nothing because they didn't acquiesce to what they wanted sexually. And they look for another victim. And they know they can get away with it because their followers are not people that love the Lord. They worship the pastor. They worship the bishop. So they're not seeking for truth. And so this is the day and age that we're in. And I still believe that there are believers that do not worship personality, so to speak. They don't care who you are. I don't care if you're bishop this, prophet this, apostle that, but they really love the Lord. And so they really are worshiping the spirit of truth, which is Jesus. And they really are about that. And so they can see past that. I want to say to victims that might not have a platform or might feel like you're going to be judged. You can't say nothing because this is what they try to tell you. You're going to be judged. You can't say nothing. You're sowing seed of tear. You know, God is the judge. Yeah, we know God is the judge, but God judges people also through legal systems. God judges people also through other people. There's a group of Christians and we're here and we believe in you and we're here to support you. And if you've been feeling in your heart that you can't say nothing, now's the time for you to speak out. There's still a remnant group of Christians that are not worshiping celebrities. They're not worshiping how big someone's conference is, who they are, or their name, or their notoriety, but they believe in truth, and they're here for you. And I'm not a victim, but I'm someone that is speaking truth to help victims that have experienced this, to say, we see you. And there's a
Now, after everything that I was saying, you just heard him say the same thing, right? A lot of them people ain't in there for no truth. They make excuses about all of this stuff, okay? Now, he says that he's not a victim, but we're actually going to go over to MX Network here in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you some Larry Reed. He has some text messages that was sent to this man from TD Jakes, okay? And so I don't know if anything happened, but it sure looked like TD Jakes is trying to pursue something with him, okay? So it's a picture of him, it's Jakes. We're going to go look at all that, and then we're going to actually listen to the man that actually gave him that fake heart attack on stage that's actually speaking up on him right now. Okay, so TD Jakes, again, he's the top of the creme de la crop. This is the man that y'all love the most. Y'all think he is the baddest pastor, bishop that is out there. And even he is doing this. So again, I am appalled by anybody who wants to give this man the benefit of the doubt, who are not willing to believe these victims first and foremost. One thing that you're going to find is that we're not going to watch the whole interview. You can go watch it if you want to on Larry Reed Live YouTube channel. It's like a 2-hour interview with this man. I'm going to play just a part of this from the video, but he talks about not only was he groomed, but that he eventually did the same things that TD Jakes did to him. Now, I don't think that that makes it okay. I really don't. People who are victims do become victimizers, and they can, but there are also people who have those things happen to them and they decide I would never do this to nobody because of what I went through. So I don't think that that's an excuse. I think it actually shows more of the fact that this man I'm about to show you, not only does he say that he was a victim, he says that he, in this long 2-hour video, and you can go watch it, we're not going to watch that, he talks about how he himself has done things that he shouldn't have done. I believe he's a registered sex offender at this point, but he's also a pastor. He's pastored churches. So it's like, you got TD Jakes that he went through this with. He become a pastor. He's doing the same thing. Like, where does it stop? You know, if this is what you're going to do, then why even be a pastor? This is what he was taught, but I'm not giving him a pass. It's the same story like how everybody is looking at R. Kelly. Everybody felt like, oh, R. Kelly is a monster, and he is, right? But then you hear about what his sister did to him and his brother, and you're like, that's horrible. That is horrible. We understand where he learned it from. We see where he got it from, which again makes my point earlier. It was his sister. It's a woman in the family, a girl, and she's doing this to her brothers. Okay, so it's not always the men. We're gonna stop acting like that. Look, girls are not the only ones that are victimized in this way, and men are not the only ones that do the victimizing, if that makes sense. Okay, it goes all ways. All right. So of course, what happened to R. Kelly was horrible, but he don't get a pass for what he did. He don't. And Will said something. Let me say this. I do want to, before I forget, shout out to Tracy. I believe I said that right. Tracy said earlier, I saw when the video was playing, it would make your night. So shout out to you, Tracy. I believe that that's the way that you say it. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining the live. Much love to you. I also would like to say thank you to Perlia. I don't know if I said your name wrong. I apologize if I slaughtered it. I've never seen that name before, but shout out to you for the Cash App that you sent. So I wanted to say that. But again, you guys, I just don't understand how we give people these passes. You don't get to get a pass in the name of Jesus because he forgives you for sins. There's some stuff that you should not be forgiven for. Okay, so let me say this, and then we're going to head over to MX Network. You guys go ahead and start going over there. Shout out to those of you that are coming in now, because I'm going to go about 5 more minutes, and then I am going over to MX Network. If you would like to come over there, there's no commercials whenever I'm live. You can watch me from over there. We have a chat, super chat. We have all of that stuff over there as well, right? You can get your free subscription right in the description of this video. You guys can come over there and get your free subscription. All the lives are free while I'm live and for 24 hours, and you can come and watch them over there. But I just want to say that at the end of the day, I don't do forgiveness. I don't. The definition of forgiveness, everybody tries to tell you that forgiving is for you to be free. No. I can move on and be healed from what you have done to me and be better in my life and get free from what it is that you did to me and not hold that baggage. See, it's something about giving people their baggage back. And the way you give it back to them is you let them carry it. You stop carrying it. If you're dealing with what I'm talking about in your household, stop sitting at the dinner table with them family members that did what they did to you. At this Christmas dinner, I'm giving you permission. You ought to get up, and when grandma go to say that fake prayer, you ought to remind the whole family of what this family member did to you and everybody else, and leave it on the table and get your stuff and leave. You know what happens when you leave? Everybody else is looking like, oh my God, they're sitting there feeling stupid. You have placed that baggage back on them. The longer you stay quiet, you are carrying baggage that don't belong to you, baby. Give it up and give it back to the person who gave you that baggage. That's who it belongs to. Confront them, say it to them, and make everybody else have to face what that person did. And then you move on and feel good about moving on and leaving them with the mess that they have created. Do that for yourself. You ain't got to forgive people to be free. Forgiveness is for the person. Let me tell you why. Because when you forgive them, that means you find a reason to understand. You find a reason to not hold them as accountable, right? You find a reason to say, it's okay. I'm not upset about what you did anymore. No, that relinquishes them. See, not forgiving them makes them have to take accountability. You remove their accountability when you give them forgiveness for something that they have not corrected, faced, or asked for your forgiveness from. You do not have to forgive people for nothing they've done. And some things are not to be forgiven. Stop forgiving these pastors. Stop forgiving these people in your family, in your house that done this. Stop letting the church lie to you and tell you that you should forgive because God forgives. No, he don't. No, she don't. God will come down with a mighty hand and flip your damn car and have you in a hospital broken up and won't let you die, but make you suffer in pain for all that you have done to people. It also says vengeance is mine. There is a vengeance there. Some people deserve exactly what is coming to them, and you don't stop that. Stop forgiving people. People don't take accountability when you give them forgiveness. And even if they take accountability, you still don't have to forgive them. That's their burden. Make them live with it. You forgiving them actually relinquishes them from the weight of carrying what they did to you, because how you feel is what makes them have guilt. Guilt is what makes a person come to accountability. Without any guilt, there is no accountability. Without any accountability, there is no change. Stop stopping people from changing by giving them forgiveness. You do not have to forgive people for the shit that they have done. You make them live with it. You make them face it. Stop being quiet. Put it in their face and make them face what the fuck they done did. Can I get an amen? That's my sermon over here for tonight. I'm going to move over to MX Network now, and we're going to watch the rest of these clips that we have and finish off this show. You guys are more than welcome to come join me over there. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Thank you for all of the super chats. I guess that's like was like the offering. Thank you. Y'all put the basket around and gave me a little couple super chats here earlier. Thank you for that. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you have not. Better yet, come over to MX Network and get your subscription where there are no commercials and you can talk in the chat and do everything else that we do over here. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, same place, and we're going to talk about these immigrants invading these people in their apartment and torturing them for hours, and 14 Venezuelans have been arrested for what they did. So we're going to go and have that conversation tomorrow. If this is where we part ways and you don't come over to MX Network, y'all have a wonderful evening. And if the people I'm talking about in the church are one of them nasty pastors or family members, I don't mean you. Fuck you. Don't have no good evening. Have a really bad week. That's what I want you to do. All right. And I'll talk to you guys later.